Well, welcome back, everybody. You know, this is Lights, Camera, Action, Make Our World Your Runway. And today, as you can see, we are going live here at the 100 Successful Women in Business show at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Boca Raton. And I have a very exciting guest with me today, as always, but we do want to make a few announcements before we start our show. And we always like to tell our viewers to tune in to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And I always highly recommend you do tune into Success Stories because you are going to listen to the most fascinating women that have come from humble beginnings and have worked themselves up to some great entrepreneurs and also doing wonderful things with community service within the community. So once again, subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And as always, we do want to thank the sponsors that do contribute to the show on a weekly basis. And that happens to be Lasky Architect, 100 Successful Women in Business, the Global Trade Chamber, Margaritaville at Sea, the Transmedia Group, the Bangladesh American Chamber of Commerce, Vita Designs, and of course, SB Fashion Direct. So sponsors, thank you so much for sponsoring this weekly show that goes out to so many people, not only here in the States, but across the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Lights, Camera, Action. It's Make Our World Your Runway. And I have a very special lady here with me today. She was been with me a few years ago, and now I think we're going to get her back. This is 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐞, who was our Teen Latina International, and she's going to come back and represent us again on the Miss side. So, 𝐤𝐤, welcome to Make Our World Your Runway.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you, 𝐤𝐤, on the show.
Thank you, same as always.
Yeah, and you know, you were a very big inspiration to the teens because when we had that contest, which was the Pageant Planet People's Choice Awards, okay, you raised almost $2,000. Okay, and you were able to put that, you know, I mean, it's not going to pay for a full scholarship, but you were able to use that to schooling. So tell us, how did you raise that money?
Well, it was, if I'm being honest, all thanks to my family. My family moved around, asked a lot of friends, they share on Facebook, Instagram, all their socials, and they really helped me, you know, reach people that I wouldn't been able if I did it on my own. And they really helped me raise that money, along with other friends, and, you know, just people sharing around.
Exactly, and that's what I tell a lot of contestants coming in today. That's a great opportunity that we have with Pageant Planet, the People's Choice Awards, because it does give girls a venue that if they cannot get all their sponsorship in, they can put a deposit down and just go into family and friends, okay? It's $1 a vote, and of course we always do donate money to charity, all right? A few years ago we did Citizens Global, which is a great organization that works with people around the world that are homeless, climate change, underprivileged children. And this past year, we did St. Jude's. Okay.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and we're about to send St. Jude's about $10,000 to $15,000 from some of the money that we've raised. So it is a great opportunity to not only have the girls invest in coming into the organization, but at the same time, sponsor a charity.
That is absolutely amazing work that you're doing.
Yeah, and thanks to you for starting it off, because once you did that, everybody's been following suit. So now you're going to be graduating, I hear?
Yes.
And you're going into psychology?
I am graduating with my bachelor's in psychology this June, and the plan is to continue schooling. I want to go into grad school. I want to do legal psychology with law school. So it's going to be a long trip, but I am so ready for it.
Now, my friends out there, you heard psychology, and you know a lot of you always say, Angela, you crazy, so I'm
well, you have somebody here that can help you with that.
I have somebody here that can help me with that because, oh, there's time. You know what? It may sound funny, but it's not funny. There's times where everyone needs psychology.
It is true.
Okay? You need someone to talk to. You have to get things out. Not to be morbid, but I just had a very good friend of mine that committed suicide. And I think if he had someone to talk to, or maybe he'd been on a suicide watch, he'd still be here today, okay? And you want to laugh? I have 2 cats. And my mother, before she passed, she lived with us for 15 years. And the one cat was so close to her that when she passed away, she actually thought that this particular cat, that my mother left her. Okay, that her master deserted her, okay? And she lost so much weight. She's coming back now, but even animals. Psychology.
Yeah, there is psychology for animals, and animals grieve too. It is very intense. They experience emotions a lot more intense than people do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I guess they're great companions for humans.
They are great companions, and you know, she's coming back now. And here's the thing, is that she, what I love about her is that she's now clinging to me, and no matter where I go, okay, she follows me. I can't go to the bathroom, I can't eat, I can't change my clothes. She's even in my slippers.
She really likes you then.
Yeah, she really likes me, yeah. And the other one at night is already on my pillow in the bed when I'm there, just waiting for me to come and sleep with her.
That is true. They're taking shifts. One's in the morning, the other one's in the night.
The other one's at night, exactly. So it's like, are you kidding? When I'm taking a shower, the two of them are in the front door. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're like, looking at me like that.
They're protecting you. They're taking over. Like, they're watching.
Exactly. So, you know, I never asked you, because you did such a great job for us, what was it like holding the main title of Teen Latina International?
Well, it was definitely a lot of things, but one of the biggest one for me was it pushed me to be my best version, the best version of myself. It really pushed me towards my career.
Right.
It pushed me to meet more people, help them, they helped me, and just make great connections. So, and that really helped me a lot, especially in my career in psychology.
Yes, and that's excellent. And the surprise I have for you is that there is a book coming out about me in Europe next month, but the gentleman who's writing this book is so fascinated with the things that we've done that there's going to be a book coming out called The Crown is the Key to Your Success, and we're going to do a web series. So you must send me a bio. We're going to get new pictures of you, because I want a lot of the teens to hear the story that you did. In fact, I definitely want to feature you as well again, because I think you'd be a big inspiration to the teens, how you went to college, to college, and you just took yourself to another level, okay? From starting as a teen, I remember you when you were very young, to growing up to being the extraordinary woman that you are now.
Thank you so much. And you know what? The title really helped me just put myself out there, because learning the English, it was a lot. I was meeting so many new people. I was learning the language. I was just getting used to the culture around. And the title really helped me just get adjusted to all that, because it is a big change.
Absolutely.
And if I can help other teens that are going through it.
Yes, and I'm gonna tell your story to some of my directors, especially my director in India, Dr. 𝐿𝐿𝐿. We love you, and because we're really trying to build the teen division, and you have a story. You started in the teen division, you raised money for the People's Choice Awards, which you won, you raised money for charity, and at the same time, you went to school, now you're graduating with a degree in psychology. So, and you want to continue, okay, to go with that. So that's wonderful, okay? I think that's great. So other than school and psychology, I know you got to have some downtime. So what do you do for enjoyment?
So I have so many hobbies that it's so hard to keep track of. But recently I've been doing Muay Thai. And that is really intense, but I liked it. I also got into tennis.
Great.
And I've just been trying to do more exercise, because I found out that mental health, it goes along with physical health.
Mental health definitely goes along with physical health. There's so many people out there, and that's another thing. Advocate for mental health. There's so many people out there suffering from that. And years ago, we didn't pay attention to it. Now the medical field is starting to realize there are mental health issues. You could be the most greatest person in the world, you could have everything, then all of a sudden, there's something in that brain that just clicks, okay? And when that happens, you don't know how it's going to set off. People have jumped off roofs of apartment buildings just one day because something bothered them, or it could be anything. It may not have to be a long-term depression, but it could be one single thing, okay? Yeah, so you're right, it's great. And you know, it's so funny because, like I said, I've watched your career. I remember the first time we put you on the runway, okay? And a lot of these models that were modeling for years and came out of agencies, and you went out there and you did it like a pro. But then again, between your aunt and your mother, I could understand why you did.
They really helped me. It was a little nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. I was really nervous, but they really helped me a lot. They were my support. I mean, they supported me all through my life, and now they supported me coming here, getting my bachelor's, graduating from high school, I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. I mean, I also say the same thing. Your mother and your aunt have been a big inspiration to me, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for your aunt giving me the idea to do the show. And of course, we have to give Max over here a big thank you because, yes, we got to give Max a big thank you. He's shy, but we're going to get him on the camera one of these days too. But anyway, before we close, you have anything you want to say to the viewers?
I mean, I just thank you so much for watching, and it's been really great. I do want to come back. I want to do more things. I want to raise awareness for mental health. I want to keep pushing my career and just inspire more people if I can on the way.
Absolutely, and that's amazing. And we are going to get you back, regardless, whatever capacity that may be in, okay? And I'm going to be your first customer on psychology. You get into my brain, you're going to say, what mistake did I make?
I'm going to start changing careers. No, but thank you.
No, thank you, Michaela, for taking time today at the busy show, okay, to be here. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. She's an outstanding lady. I've watched her grow from when she's been very small to become this beautiful young lady, now about ready to graduate and get her degree in psychology. So once again, we always want to thank you for tuning in to Make Our World Your Runway. And stay tuned because we have more exciting guests coming your way today. Thank you again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. You know this is the show that interviews the most fascinating individuals from the world of modeling, pageantry, beauty, business, and even the entertainment industry. And of course, we are here live today at the beautiful show at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Boca Raton. And I do have a fabulous guest in the studio today, somebody that's after my passion, and I have her passion as well. And we're going to introduce her in a couple of minutes. But before that, we like to make a couple of announcements. And we always like to tell everyone to tune in to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows with Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And I highly tell everyone to tune into Success Stories because you're going to hear the most amazing women that have started from humble beginnings and have gone all the way up to becoming entrepreneurs and do some great things in community service. So once again, remember to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Success Stories and Make Our World Your Runway. And of course, this show would not be possible without having some great sponsors, and we want to acknowledge and thank them as well. And that is Lasky Architect, 100 Successful Women in Business, the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel, Margaritaville at Sea, the Transmedia Group, the Bangladesh Chamber of Commerce, Vita Designs, and of course, SB Fashion Direct. Thank you so much, sponsors, for making the show possible. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get on to our show. So, like I said, I have a fabulous guest with me here today. We definitely have something in common, and that is Ms. Donna Singer. She is an international jazz vocalist. So, Donna, welcome to our show and Make Our World Your Runway.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I said, oh my God, when you came up to me before and I noticed that you were a jazz singer, I said, we've got something in common because we're both singers.
That's right. And she's opera, I'm jazz. They're right hand in hand.
Yes, they are right hand in hand. And I always say, if you can sing the opera, you can jump down to sing jazz, R&B, blues, whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
So tell me some of the places that you've sang.
Some of the wonderful places, my husband, who is a composer and has written most of my music, we performed in Switzerland, Italy, Paris, London, Carnegie Hall, the Metropolitan Opera House. We've had a beautiful career. My husband is turning 80, so we are, God bless, he still plays the piano, sits down and plays a wonderful Schubert sonata, and then forgets to get the milk. What are you going to do? But he's great. And our next show is coming up at Blue Jeans Blues Jazz Club in Fort Lauderdale. Check out my website, donna-singer.com.
Oh, yes, I definitely have to come and check that out. And no, you know, it's so funny that you should say something like that because I've performed all over myself, Atlantic City, Las Vegas. And one of the things that we were talking about a few weeks ago, I happened to have someone on my show that was in the entertainment business. When I was starting out, my cousin and my cousin today is a great country and western singer. Okay, he's been on the top 5 on the rockabilly for the last 5 years. He's been absolutely amazing. Okay, and of course 2 different type of music. He does country and western, but he does a great Elvis act. That's how we started out. Okay, in fact, the New York Times just did a story on him. All right, it was great. But we started out doing telethons, because at those telethons, we knew we were not going to get paid, but a lot of them, big artists used to do them, and we figured if they heard, it was the exposure. And before you know it, we were opening up for this one and that one. And I tell everybody, I'm a Jersey girl. I had the distinct pleasure of opening up for the Jersey boy, Frankie Valli. Frankie Valli. Yeah, Frankie. Sherry, baby, Sherry. Yeah, see, we could do our own show right here. Yeah, so, you never know where that was going to take you. And then from doing those things, my cousin played this, the same places, Atlantic City, Las Vegas, the cruise lines. And then I wound up going to an audition, which I didn't want to go. And a friend of mine told me, he says, I got a great feeling about this. He says, they're looking for understudies for Phantom of the Opera. And I'm like, yeah, right, okay. But I went. You take the opportunity. And I became an understudy. And then when they did the East Coast tour, Sarah Brighton had done it for years. She didn't want to do, she was doing matinees. She was doing 5 years. She did not want to do the tour. Yours truly decided to do that tour. And it was great. In 1998, I must have went from one end of the East Coast to the end of
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
One of my favorite music.
And I played the part of Christine Daae.
That's great. What a great story.
It was great. Unfortunately, the band leader that we worked with, he passed away, and we thought his son was going to take over, but he didn't. But I always say those were the highlights of my career.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, touring.
Yeah, it was touring, exactly. And I used to walk on airplanes, and people used to say, "Didn't I see you with the Taj Mahal?" And I said, "Yes,
yes, it was me." Isn't that great?
So you never know.
No, you never know. And I also perform with an 18-piece big band orchestra.
Oh, I love it.
The Diamond Jazz Orchestra.
Yes, I've heard of them. The Diamond Jazz Orchestra.
I sing with them, and I also sing. I have to tell you, because you said Boynton, so that really made me think of this. I sing with the Boynton Beach Gold Coast Concert Band, 70 pieces. And I sing with them. Our concert's coming up in February.
Oh, I gotta go.
You gotta go. I'll let you know.
I gotta go.
You know.
Sneak me on that stage. I love singing with a,
That's great.
That's great. When we did Phantom, that was an 18-piece orchestra. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
It's so because they're bringing back a lot of that. Tomorrow, my husband and I are going to see a show. There's a gentleman that's from Vegas, and he does a tribute to Dean Martin.
Oh, okay.
He was doing it in Aventura. Now he's been in Vegas. He's in Vegas. I mean, not Vegas. He's in Boca today.
Okay.
Tomorrow. The show is so successful, they got to add another show Monday.
That's excellent. Yeah. That's how you do it. Exactly. People are like, "Why are you still singing? Why are you still singing?" I'm like, I haven't found a need to stop.
No, there's no need to.
Opportunities are there, and everybody thinks that exposure is such a bad word. That's not a bad word. No, that's a great word. Go do it.
Exactly, and people
be seen.
Right, and people, why aren't you looking for that big paycheck? I said, wait a minute, I love what I'm doing. The big paycheck might come, I said, but the idea, when you're on that stage and people are looking at you and you can bring some joy to people, you don't know what they're going through that day or that year.
That's it.
That's it. I just got that paycheck.
You may put zeros behind it, but me, I put people behind it. I put my life in front of it. No, I'm extremely pleased with my career. It could have gone either way. We both went to Juilliard.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
We both, exactly.
We're both from New York. Well, you New Jersey, New York. Okay,
I'm both. I tell people New Jersey and York, and that's what I am.
I'm a New Yorker. And Yankees all the way.
Oh, except for this year, I was sitting there like,
I know, right? Okay, now stop. Now we got to give it to my boys. But but my husband and I, we go back to New York. We just performed at Don't Tell Mamas. I know, right? It's still there. And I said, how could this be? So Roy and I did a show there. It was sold out. We had a blast. And I was like, this is why we still come back to New York. It's not going anywhere. Vegas isn't going anywhere.
No, it's not.
Atlantic City is not going anywhere. No.
Go see the shows. Go out and support.
Go out and see the shows.
Look at Johnny Mathis, 80-something years old, and John is still performing. I have a story about Johnny Mathis.
Oh, please do.
Oh yeah, this is the truth. Okay, I had this distinct pleasure of meeting his sister. We worked on a job together.
Okay.
And when she first told me who she was, you don't believe people. It's like, okay. She said, well, come with me to Atlantic City. I go with her, and I walk in, and there's John sitting there. And John was performing that night. Well, John and I kind of formed a camaraderie together, okay? Yes, we did. And when he teamed up and he did that with Henry Mancini, he did the album called The Hollywood Musicals. Yeah. They were performing at Carnegie Hall in New York City. So his sister and I, we went there. She said, listen, John's going to treat for lunch today. I said, well, that's great. So it was my day off from work, and I said, all right, we go. I walked into Tower Records. That's when they had Tower Records.
I remember.
Okay. Yeah, remember Tower Records? Okay. He's signing autographs. He saw me come in. He goes, you know what? It's time for lunch. Everybody had to leave. He said to me, come on, darling, let's go. I said, where are we going? He said, we're going in the limousine. We're going for lunch. I said, where are we going? 𝐿 Margarita's sister said to me, she said, what about me?
What about me?
He says, you can take the next car.
Oh, no. That's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah, and he's still the greatest. Listen to that voice.
Yes,
80-something years old, and that voice is still...
I'm singing his songs today. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Gotta get her
gotta
on
go.
there.
Okay.
I know, I gotta
Thank
get
you
her.
so much.
Wing waiting to be on Miss International World.
Amazing.
Yes.
Sing jazz.
Believe it or not, she is a cheerleader and a dancer for the Heat. Miami Heat. So she's waiting in the wings to come on.
Right,
but anyway, it's been a pleasure.
So it has been.
And if you want to come back on the show, you just
Anytime.
call me up
Anytime.
and tell me. And
Thank you.
got
We'll
an
make
open
it
seat.
happen.
We will.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. You know this is the show that interviews the most fascinating individuals from the world of pageantry, modeling, beauty, fashion, business, and even the entertainment industry. And of course, we are here live today at the Embassy Suites in Boca Raton at the 100 Successful Women in Business show. It has been absolutely amazing. And do I have a great honorable guest with me today? But I'm just going to make a couple of announcements before we bring her on. And as always, we like to tell all our viewers to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And I highly tell everyone to tune into Success Stories because you are going to hear the most amazing stories from women that have worked themselves up from humble beginnings to becoming entrepreneurs and doing some wonderful things in community service. And you're going to hear a little bit about that today. So once again, subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows. And of course, this show would not be possible without having our sponsors. And we want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, which is Lasky Architect, 100 Successful Women in Business, the Global Trades Chamber, Margaritaville at Sea, the Transmedia Group, the Bangladesh American Chamber of Commerce, Vita Designs, and of course, SP Fashion Direct. So sponsors, thank you so much for making this show possible every week. And also remember to go to the website, www.100swb.com, so you can check out all the information on these shows and all of the shows that we are going to have coming to you from around the country and the world. So once again, the website, 100swb.com for all the information. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I'd like to say, lights, camera, action, it's Make Our World Your Runway. And in the studio today, I have one of the greatest ladies. She's been absolutely phenomenal. She has taken the Miss International World Pageant by storm, and she's going to tell you some of the fascinating and wonderful things that she's doing, and that's Miss 𝐶 Pierre, who is Miss International World 2023. 𝐶, welcome to Make Our World Your Runway.
Well, thank you for inviting me and bringing me onto your wonderful podcast. It is definitely such a pleasure, and I can't wait to share my experience with them.
Oh, yes, and you have a lot of experience to share. And I remember when you first came into Miss International World and you won the global title, and then you went on to take Miss International World. And now you are a dancer and a cheerleader for the Heat. So tell us all about that, because that is wonderful news.
I mean, when I first started Miss International World, I was definitely shy. I had a lot of self-doubt. I didn't know if I was going to win because I already did other pageants and I was continuously losing. But Miss International World discovered me at another pageant and they saw my potential, and this platform has really allowed me to make the world my runway. I've been able to be featured on television, on TLC. I've been able to get a billboard during New York Fashion Week, and in Miss International World and Make Your World Your Runway has really given me opportunities and a spotlight to allow me to develop who I am as a woman. And I am truly grateful.
And we are so grateful to you and so honored to have you. So what's going on with the Heat? Because I know you've become a superstar overnight.
Yeah, the heat was definitely a struggle for me at first because I am used to majorette dancing, and then all of a sudden I had to like go into hip hop and jazz and a little bit of contemporary, but through practice and hard work and dedication, I've been able to really just get more comfortable and allow my groove and my jazz and my sauce and my flavor to shine through the routines. And it's amazing. I love being a Miami Heat dancer. There's no other place like the Miami Heat organization, and I am truly grateful.
Yes, and you've also, besides that, I mean, when you get on that runway, you kill it. You've become a fantastic model. Yes, you love the runway.
I give me an empty space. Yes. Even if there is no one there, I'm treating it like a runway. I love the runway. I love to walk. Like, ever since I was a little girl, like, just give me a good rip and I will run, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing about Miss SK here is, which her nickname, you don't have to be 5'10" or 5'11" to work a runway. I mean, I've seen you put something on, go grab a bag, and all of a sudden she is strutting down the street. I mean, I've seen you in shows like this on a carpet or whatever. I mean, you know, get that phone and you're strutting. So yeah, I mean, you definitely are very well rounded. You're not only intelligent, you're not only beautiful, but you can dance, you can model. So, you know, as Walina always says, Superstar Walina, I think we're going to start calling you Superstar SK.
Thank you. I mean, you guys played a great role in that. And especially with 90 Day Fiancé, when Gino was like, you know, that girl from Haiti, her posture. I'm like, if it wasn't for Miss International World, I would never be able to have my walk on TV. So I really appreciate that.
No, it's great. And, you know, here's something that I'm telling all the girls. You know, from this show, Make Our World Your Runway, it has been noticed, and it's been noticed overseas. And there's a book coming out about me next month, okay? But... Yeah, but wait, it's thanks to all you ladies, because now we're going to start a web series called Why the Crown has been so successful, okay? And a book is going to come out where all of you are going to be featured in there, okay? See why the crown has been the key to success. So we'll be able to get your picture and updated bio and all. I'm going to be able to feature about 10 to 15 girls in there, so you all come out in a book. Okay.
No, that's good, because Miss International World really has helped position quite a few young women and girls into their career. Like, even when I think about my former pageant director's daughter, Miss Constance Robinson, the things that she's been doing right now, even just being in Atlanta, chasing her dreams, it's Make the World Your Runway. Miss International World has really put a lot of women in position.
Exactly. Amora, I mean, it was great. I mean, she came into the pageant and she took Teen International World. And, you know, that year there is when the Bahamas, they had with Hurricane Dorian, okay? And being that they had dual citizenship in the Bahamas, she was, like, featured on... when they did the humanitarian cruise, Amora was featured on there. She was like on the lead boat for the Winterfest boat parade, because we were doing something with the Bahamas and Hurricane Dorian. So that opened up a lot of doors for her. And then she went on to dance, and she modeled in LA. And I mean, I think she went to school there.
She's in fashion school now.
She's in fashion school, exactly. So she's doing a lot. But Constance loves pageants. If you know anything about her mom put a crown and a banner on and went out and strut. And I keep telling your mom, I said, Mama, it's not too late.
Yeah.
And she keeps going, well, I don't know. We got to convince her.
Yes.
I keep telling her. She'd be great.
Yeah, she's a pageant girl of her own. She carries herself like a pageant girl.
She does.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've noticed something, because when your mother was at the Tower Club last Thursday night, there's something about her when she walks in a room.
Yeah.
People seem to gravitate to her, okay? And she gets right in. She's pleasant. She can really hold the conversation. She knows what she's doing. How many businesses does she have now? She's got them 2, 3. She's
3. My mom has a lot of energy. That one woman right there, I wish that I had the amount of energy that she has, because she has the ability to sustain quite a few things successfully.
Yes, she does.
And she just does it without even blinking.
And she never gives up. You know, she could do something today, like when she ran for commissioner, and it didn't exactly go the way she wanted. But she said, I will still stay involved in the community. Okay, so she's not giving up. She's, you know what, I'll run for something else. I'll do something. So that's what's great about it. She reminded me of my mom. I mean, my mom at 94 had that same kind of energy. Get up every day, don't quit, unbelievable. Right. So I think that's where I get part of it from, okay? But when I watch your mother come into the room, I'm like, sunshine just broke out. Because you think she's quiet when she comes in. And she does have that very elegant way, okay? She is soft-spoken, but she makes an impact when she comes into the room. Yeah, I love her. I text her all the time. Go, Mama, I got something for 𝐤𝐤𝐿. And she goes, okay, thank you so much. And I keep telling your mother, I said, Mom, you're not going anywhere either. She's like, so she's good with that. Yes. And I know she had texted me about something because we know Black History Month and Haiti and all that coming up. So she's got some great ideas for that too. She does, yeah, she's good with that. So, yeah, we just keep going and keep doing things. And I have billboards going up throughout the year in New York, so I want to feature you on another billboard.
Oh, I would love that. You know that I would love that.
Yep. Okay, we've got Alexandria going on too. Oh, yes. We have Jessica now. We have more coming out, so we'll make sure we get you on that. And, of course, we have that makeup palette coming out, but you're going to have a shadow named after you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
You know, it was always my dream ever since I was a little girl to own my own makeup line.
Oh,
so to know that in eyeshadow, we will see what God has in store for me.
I say the same thing, to see what God. But I know you have to get going because you've got to do a promo and you've got a shoot coming up. But anyway, my dear, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. You've been on a few times, and you know you can always come back. And we have to start doing some certain things with you and really getting you out there and ladies and gentlemen, if it takes us a lifetime, we're going to get her on Dancing with the Stars. So that's where she needs to be. But anyway, beautiful, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, and you, Mom, and everybody that's associated with you. So I know you got some big things coming up today, but you're going to be perfect.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you for allowing me to come and speak on your show and to share my experience and anything that I can, help to boost Miss International World or make our world your runway is great, because honestly, I've learned through your organization to make the world my runway. So.
And you know what? One of these days we're going to reverse roles, okay? You're going to sit there and interview me.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, see, there we go, Max.
Love that.
Yes, we are going. Well, in fact, we're going to be going to the Tower Club some Monday, do a whole series of shows. Yes, so I'm going to do the first one, and then we're going to reverse the roles. You come with the crown aside, and you're going to interview me.
So, Miss Angela, what are we doing today? Oh, I can't wait.
I'll have a whole laundry list of what we're going to do today. Absolutely. So, but ladies and gentlemen, there you have the Miss International World 𝐤𝐤𝐿. She was Miss International World 2023. And of course, as I tell all the ladies, title never goes away. It's for life. They may crown a successor, but they can always come back and be part of Miss International World and make our world your runway. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned because we'll have more guests for you today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I promised you, welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. You know we are here live today at the 100 Successful Women in Business Conference. It's at the Boca Raton, the Embassy Suites here by Hilton. So if you are in the area and you want to come down and join us and even get on the show, we'd be more than happy to interview you. And of course, you know, every week, Make Our World Your Runway interviews the most fascinating individuals from the world of modeling, pageantry, business, beauty, fashion, business, and even the entertainment industry. And right now we are going to go into fashion. I have a great guest, but before we do that, we always like to have a few announcements, and we want to remind all our viewers to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows with Make Our World Your Runway and success stories. And as always, I tell all my viewers to highly tune in to success stories because you're going to see the most fascinating women. You're going to hear their stories about how they came from humble beginnings, went on to become great entrepreneurs, and also doing wonderful things in community service. So once again, if you want to see these shows, remember to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel. And as always, we do want to thank the sponsors that make this show possible. And those sponsors are Lasky Architect, 100 Successful Women in Business, the Global Trade Chamber, Margaritaville at Sea, the Transmedia Group, the Bangladesh American Chamber of Commerce, Vida Designs, and SP Fashion Direct. So sponsors, thank you so much, because without this, the show would not be possible. And I also like to tell our viewers that if you want to see more information about Make Our World Your Runway and where the Global Trade Chamber and the 100 Successful Women are going to be next, go to the website at www.100swb.com for all the information. We have a great international show coming up on April the 4th. It's going to be at the DoubleTree Hotel in Miami. That show will be a sellout like all the other shows. It's a free event. You can register yourself and a guest, but if you want to be a speaker or you also want to be an exhibitor, you must register there and get all the information. Do it quickly because, like I say, these shows definitely are a sellout, and it's a great way to boost your business. You've got networking there, conferences, fashion shows, and of course, Make Our World Your Runway always goes live. So once again, the website is www.100swb.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, lights, camera, action. It is on to our show, Make Our World Your Runway. And I have a wonderful guest here today. She's very fashionable, and I'm going to introduce her. She's going to tell you her last name and her business. It happens to be 𝐷𝐿
Van Horn, Artsy Girl Styles.
Artsy Girl Styles. Didn't I tell you we were going into fashion? And if you were at her table, you would see it's definitely Artsy Girl Style. So tell us about your company, 𝐷𝐿.
My name is 𝐷𝐿 Van Horn. My company was born 2014 because I love fashion. I eat, breathe, sleep fashion. And I also think that as women, we're fabulous. And sometimes we lose that little sparkle. So that is why Artsy Girl is here to jazz you up and help everyday working women to feel their best, look their best. And I also work with young girls as well to bring out that artsy in them.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing because, you know, you're right. You know, if you know you're going out, you're going to get a little more artsy, a little more jazzy. But, you know, sometimes when you go to work and the stress of every day, especially women that have children and have to go home and cook and still have a job, we sometimes forget, you know what, hey, put that face on, look fabulous, wear something that makes you look fabulous.
Exactly.
And when you do that and you start to feel good on the inside, and the inner side makes you feel good on the outside. And if you've got something fabulous on, you're going to be strutting down that
Exactly.
street. Yeah.
And so that is what I'm all about. So in all our pieces that I have, I make sure to curate something that's jazzy, that makes you feel feminine, that make, you know, when you step out and you walk in a room, your presence speaks for itself without even saying a word.
Exactly. And I've noticed you've got a lot more women. Well, women have always, you know, you've always had women fashion designers. There were men, okay, you know, you had the Karl Lagerfelds, the Oscar de la Renta, okay, Yves Saint Laurent. Yeah, Gianni Versace.
Exactly.
Yeah, and, you know, you've always had them, okay? And now I see there's more and more women fashion designers.
Exactly, because who is better to design for us as well? Not that men can't, but we understand our bodies. We know what we look like. We come in different shape, size, form, and women, we know our femininity and more so than men.
Right.
So, I mean, it's great to see that there's a lot of female, you know, women that's designing, that, you know, care more now about their appearance, about their bodies. They're not, you know, so for me, that's how my business came about.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was in the cosmetic business, you know, I was in that business for 27 and a half years, and I worked for some of the major cosmetic companies, but one of the biggest ones I worked for was 𝐿𝐴𝐚. I became their trainer. Bergdorf Goodman happened to be one of my doors. And it's very strange. I used to have women come up to me and say, it's one girl, and she says, I need a lot of work. And I looked at her and said, you got no makeup on, you need a lot of work. She was gorgeous. She was going to compete in a pageant. And I did her makeup, and she looked in the mirror. She said, oh my God, that's me. I said, that's you? I said, but you were beautiful before you sat down. I said, now look, all we did was just enhance that. And she actually hired me. That's how I started getting into the pageant world. Okay. And she hired me to go into her national pageant, which she won. And then she hired me to go to Las Vegas to do her makeup. But I had a woman, when I was working for Sephora, and I'll never forget this. Woman came in, she wanted to have a makeover. She told me she was going to her Christmas party that night. I said, fine. She said, you know, she said, I don't think there's anything you could do for me. I said, I looked at her and I said, I kind of figured where she was coming from. And I said, why? She said, well, I've been going through chemo and radiation. She said, I've had stage 4 cancer. I am in remission. She said, but you can tell my face and a few scars. Just don't worry about it. When I got done with her, you would have never known that this woman had gone through chemo or radiation.
Amazing.
And when she looked in the mirror, she cried. I wouldn't charge her that day for a makeover. I said, that's my Christmas gift to you as you're going to a Christmas party. She tried to tip me, and her husband tried to tip me. I would not accept it. I said, it wouldn't be right for me to accept that. Do you know that woman came back to me continually, and then I hooked her up with someone in the store who put her in a beautiful cocktail dress, jazzed her up.
And that's amazing, because that's the beauty of giving back.
Right,
And the fact that she was at a place where, you know, none of us would want to be, and for you to do that deed of kindness, I mean, that just reciprocates.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a good thing. And I'm sure you made her feel good, and you in turn felt good that she was so happy.
Unbelievable, because I felt that I really did something that day.
Exactly.
That, you know, and I always tell people, I said, look, we're all God's children. I said, no matter how old you are, whether you're a little baby or you're 90 years old, if you're still boy. I said, so what was it supposed to be? Human kindness.
Exactly, that's it.
If you don't do that, if you don't show the heart that you have, and I always say, I was here for a purpose.
Exactly.
So if it's purpose, like yourself, if we
Exactly.
can make women look beautiful, what's
You never
wrong with
know.
that?
And create this community of great, beautiful women who look at themselves, whether it's just a shoe or just your makeup or
Exactly.
an
Or your nails,
accessory,
like I
your
noticed your
nails.
nails.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, for me, that's what my business is about. I love women looking good, feeling good, because if you feel good, you do good.
Right, exactly. You know, I watch the show on MSNBC on Saturdays, The Weekend, with Joy Reid. I love Joy Reid. I mean, she may have that short hair. The makeup is done spectacular. Her nails. This is a beautiful woman. Okay. And I said, all right, she's tall. She's, you know, she has some weight on her, but the woman dresses spectacular. I said, how could you not say this woman isn't beautiful? She is. She's gorgeous, okay? She dresses lovely. I mean, the other day she had a sweater on with the feathers going up. I said, that's spectacular, okay? So she knows how to address an audience.
And beauty comes in all forms, shape, size. And I mean, your beauty is not my beauty. You have to just love what you have, work with it, enhance it, and make it your own. You know?
Exactly. So you're doing a lot of spectacular work, and I'm sure you've got a lot of women that resonate towards you.
Yes. I can't even imagine. I have friends that's been shopping with me since the onset of the business.
Wow.
And I mean, my pieces, they're always timeless. I go above and beyond to not just find trendy stuff, but stuff that resonates with the person who you are as a person. So when you put that on, you feel good and you want to wear it again. It's not just something that you just put on and that's it.
And you know, I'm lucky because he's standing there taking a picture, but my husband was always into fashion. He used to model many years ago.
Nice.
And when he met me, he said, we're going to change this look. And I'm looking at him going, so now I got a man that's going to change my look. Okay. I was wearing a perm. He's getting rid of that poodle look first. So that was the first thing that went. And till this day, I tell people, I do not buy my clothes. He does. He happens to know my style. He'll pick something out on the rack, and I say to him, try it on, I got a feeling. Yeah, he's right. He's right. It usually. So I'm very lucky that I had a man that was kind of into that, worked in New York City, had to always be in a suit and a tie, and had to dress, and realized that, hey, you know what? He even said to me, he said, you've got a lot of potential. He said, but we got to enhance that.
Exactly.
He said, I don't have to teach you about cosmetics, you know that. He said, but we got to do everything else. Because I was wearing a uniform, you know, when you work in cosmetics, they have the uniform. So, you know, you have these
floppy things and a certain color.
Certain color. So nobody really saw that. So, you know, you
That
just,
beauty.
yeah, you saw the beauty on the face.
But not
not any place else. So when he started doing that, I really started learning it and jazzing it up and getting into it. Yeah. And now, even if he's not with me, I could buy something and say, I know he'd go for that. Okay.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I mean, and again, not everyone, you were lucky enough to have a mate that does that. So again, this is why as women, we have to come together and sprinkle that little dust on each other.
Yeah, I always say you got to sprinkle that little fairy dust on there.
Exactly.
Now, you see the girl that was just here before, that was my Miss International World, okay? And like she said, she was kind of shy when she started out, but now, I mean, look at her. I mean, she's that crown, the gown, the makeup. I mean, she even does her own makeup now. So, you know, she started in a smaller pageant. She came to us, and we gave her the vehicle to get out there and really do something. And she's done it. She's taken it to the next level between, you know, her mother, myself, and other people. She's now a dancer and a cheerleader for the Miami Heat.
Oh, amazing.
God knows where she's
going to go. And that's good, because that's pouring into women or each other, anyone for that matter. But because this is a woman's thing, we have to learn to pour into each other. Doesn't matter how minute it is, or if you see, you know, it's just like a bucket, drop, drop, drop. Eventually the bucket gets filled up, right?
Exactly.
So we're the same. Human beings are the same.
Yes, human beings are the same. And I always say, you have to sit down, you have to listen to someone. Find out, you know, when you really sit down and talk to people, you find out what's going on up here, okay? And people could be going through something, okay? I had a woman today that was listening to my speech when I was talking about doing the show, and she was someone who really needed help, and she said, you sound like someone who could give me advice, and I did. And when she walked away today, she said, thank you. She said, because I haven't felt like this in a long time. She said, I'm almost homeless.
Exactly. Here you go.
All right, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I say, in this world today, homeless people, unbelievable. I saw, in fact, in my building, I was so glad they did this when it got cold, and it was on Thursday, I saw this woman with a shopping cart on the corner where I live, and just was lethargic, and she was freezing. So I went into the office, and they went out there with blankets and coats, invited them in, gave them lunch, and then we called the police department and the crisis center, and they got them into shelters for the night.
Amazing.
And you have to...
That's pouring into someone. And I mean, that's what life is about. I mean, to whom much is given, more is expected. So if, for me, that's what I carry out through my life.
Right.
Because we're blessed to even to be able to have this. So why not pour into someone else? And it could make a big difference.
And I think I've made a bigger difference. You know, in 2007, I suffered a near fatal heart attack, okay? It was a massive heart attack.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I was like from here to where that camera is to the hospital. I was lucky, okay? I got right into the hospital. And I realized that from that point on, I got a second chance on life. And I said to myself, oh, God was good to me. And he was telling me, hey, okay, now you got to start giving back to the community.
Exactly. Amazing.
Yeah.
And there's no better joy, anyways, than giving back, even if it's small in any kind of aspect.
Exactly.
It's great.
But we definitely have to work with you. I got to get one of my girls is coming in next month. We got to get together.
Yes.
You would love our current reigning Miss International World. She's from the Bahamas, Alexandria. She's got a couple of billboards coming up in New York, and maybe we can do a photo show where the girls wear something of yours, and we get it up there in Times Square.
Definitely. I would love that.
Yeah.
It'd be my pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, I do want to thank you for taking time to be on Make Our World Your Runway, and tell people where they could find you.
Well, my Instagram handle, Artsy Girl Styles, or Artsy Girl Dion, or my website, artsygirlstyles.com, or you can reach me on my number, 954-604-5681. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. And anyway, we're going to be in touch. And anytime you want to come on Make Our World Your Runway, you have something new or a story to tell, you always have a welcome seat. The platform. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You've heard some great stories today. Isn't that wonderful about fashion and what she's doing? So as always, stay tuned, because Make Our World Your Runway always has an amazing and exciting guest. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Well, welcome back, everyone. You know, this is Lights, Camera, Action, Make Our World Your Runway. And we are here live today at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Boca Raton. We're at the 100 Successful Women in Business show. And, of course, I have another fabulous pageant guest here with me today. But before we bring her on, and we're going to tell you all the wonderful things that she's doing, we do like to make a few announcements. And the first announcement we like to make is we want to tell all our viewers to make sure you subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And we highly tell all our viewers to tune into Success Stories because you are going to hear some, when I say wonderful stories, from women that have been from humble beginnings and have worked themselves up to becoming great entrepreneurs and doing fabulous things in community service. So once again, subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see our show, Make Our World Your Runway, and Success Stories. And as always, we want to thank the sponsors that make the show possible every week. And that's Lasky Architect, it's 100 Successful Women in Business, the Global Trade Chamber, Margaritaville at Sea, the Transmedia Group, the Bangladesh American Chamber of Commerce, SP Fashion Direct, and Vida Designs. So sponsors, thank you so much for making the show possible. And as always, if you want to learn more about our live shows and where we're going next, remember to go to the website at www.100swb.com for all the information. Now, our next big show is coming up April 4th. It's an international show. It's going to be at the DoubleTree Hotel in Miami. And at these shows, there's always networking, conferences, fashion show, and of course, Make Our World Your Runway goes live. Now, if you want to be an exhibitor, or also you want to be a speaker, make sure you go to the website at 100swb.com for all the information. Sign up quickly because these shows do become a sellout. Or if you just want to attend, it is a free show, but you do have to register. So we hope to see you once again in Miami, April the 4th at the DoubleTree Hotel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's on to our show, Lights, Camera, Action, Make Our World Your Runway. And today I have with me the beautiful Tatiana 𝐷𝐿𝐿𝐿, who happens to be Miss Worldwide. So welcome to our show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to be part of your show.
Absolutely. And if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing pageants today. And of course, you know I have Miss International World, but this is the sisterhood of pageantry, so we welcome any girl from any pageant. So I'm so glad that you are here. And looking at your card, you do so much leadership and personal growth. You have body language analysis, and do empowerment programs, workshops and training, and of course, charity initiative you do. So tell us about all the wonderful things that you've done with your title.
With my title, that actually is the reason why I wanted to get the title when I went to the global stage is to promote my platform, my charity work. I help a lot children and women who are victims of abuse or neglect or violence. And since I'm professional on my side, I'm a body language expert. So I help them to build up their confidence and self-assurance, helping them not only from the mental sides, for the mental specialists, also from the body side. So I also do a lot of charity initiatives to raise the voice and to speak about these social causes.
Yeah, which is absolutely fantastic. And you know, going in pageantry, it actually gave you more of a voice because you have to have a platform, so you're able to get that platform out there, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And you know, there's so many people out there, like you and I were discussing before about mental health. They don't realize, some people don't realize that they do have mental health. And you could be fine one day and all of a sudden the next day something could click. And you see people that are committing suicide or someone throws themselves off a building. It's unbelievable, but you never know. So I think there needs to be more advocates like you out there that can talk to people and go to workshops like this and find out that they're not alone, but that there is a way to get help.
Yeah, it's always important to give them support, because some people say that I didn't know that I can get this support. So that's my biggest mission is to speak loud and to tell people that yes, you can get this support.
Yes, you can. You definitely can get that type of support. And you know, I'm normally a person that can almost fight through anything, but when I lost my mom last year, and God bless her, she lived to 94 years old. I mean, she was very sharp. She had all her senses right to the very end. I kind of went through a little bit of a trauma. And there were days where I thought, I didn't even want to go on. I felt guilty. I felt it was my fault. But she had gone through the hospice program, and Vitas, which is a hospice program, they had programs where you could go and sit in, or they would do one-on-one. And I took a few of those programs. And I'll be honest, it has now helped me. I'm now coming back to myself. And I highly encourage anyone. And I had someone say to me, but I'm not sick in the mind. I said, it's got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's not about being sick.
It's not being sick. Don't say you're crazy or anything like that. I said, these are things that actually happen. And they can happen to good people, sane people. I said, what makes someone pick up a gun and shoot somebody one day and then feels guilty about it? Something clicks, because there's something in the subconscious that you don't know that's happening. So your work is very important. You need to do more of that.
Yeah, and I'm doing more. I'm working on launching the new program, which called Empowerment Through Body Language. Right. And it's I want to make it available for the non-government organizations and for different charity organizations. It's going to be focused on the women and the children, like teenagers, right, who had this difficulties, or maybe they had some abuse or violence, or just simply difficulties in life. So they can go through this empowerment program through the body language to help them to overcome the obstacles and to feel better and increase their self-confidence, self-esteem, and go ahead, continue living and enjoying it and achieving in their life.
Exactly. No, it's great. And it's so funny. About 2 weeks ago, I had Tracy Kemble on my show, who is the owner of the Mrs. Globe pageant organization, which I was part of for many of years, and I was also Mrs. New Jersey Globe 1996.
Wow.
Thank you. And I won the Jersey title, and I went out to nationals and made the top 10. And she started a charity organization, which it's got the letters WIN. It's the WIN Foundation, stands for Women in Need. And she has raised so much money through that charitable program with all her pageant girls that, she was a victim of domestic violence. And it was great because she raised a lot of money. She went into and spoke to women that did come from domestic violence, underprivileged children, underprivileged women, and she has taken that charity around the world and all through pageantry.
That's
and
impressive.
One of the things that I feel pageantry does give a voice.
Yeah.
And I'll explain to you why. Mine was a little bit different, and I told this to Tracy. I was a singer, okay, professional singer. And at the time that I was with the Mrs. Globe organization, I had been signed with the William Morris Agency in New York. But when Tracy heard me sing, she always did what was called the Mrs. U.S. Globe Awards. Uh-huh. And she had me sing at that awards, okay? Wow. And when she heard me sing, oh my God, I sang that in that show every year. I went to them with Greece when they did the international pageant. I sang there. I was on television shows. Then I started playing Vegas, Atlantic City, and then cruise ships, and then landed Phantom of the Opera. And I said that she did more for my career in the world of pageantry than the William Morris Agency in New York did. Yeah. So pageantry does give women a voice and a chance to get something out. What you do, what I did, and what Tracy's doing, the charitable work. Yeah. And she said, look, all these women deserve to be on that runway and have a platform. She said, Angela, whether it's through my organization or like Miss Worldwide or Miss International World, she said, we need to help these women get out there and fulfill their dreams. And I thought that was perfectly said.
Yeah, I agree. And I must admit that the pageantry increases your self-esteem. You know how it does. It's like, wow, it's something, even if you think that you cannot, when you step on the stage, you start believing in yourself enormously. It's like,
yes. Exactly. You do believe in yourself. And a lot of people are so very misconstrued with pageantry because they think that, these women are just going on stage and they're walking around in a gown or a bathing suit or whatever. And I tell people, I said, come and listen to some of the interviews that I hear, okay? I've got women that went on to become doctors. I've had women that went on to become lawyers, who went on to, like yourself, become coaches and doing great charitable work. I remember a girl that I had many years ago, okay, Silvana Camargo, who started with Telemundo, because she's Latin. And now she's got her own TV show called 𝐷𝐿 and travels the world. So pageantry gave her a voice. I've had women that went on to become designers or heads of companies. So it's not just about parading on that stage. And a lot of people so misconstrued with that. I said, listen to what some of these girls tell you in interviews. Highly intelligent, who's got PhDs, who's got master's degrees. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of work to step on that stage, you know.
It does. It was like in the entertainment business when I first started out. It takes a lot of courage to get out there. And even today, as a seasoned person, I still have to know my audience. When I get out there, I look and I go, uh-oh, I better change what I'm saying because I see a few eyes out there not agreeing with what I'm saying. You know, but I've had to learn how to do that, and it's still a learning curve. I tell people every time, just because I've done this for a long time doesn't mean I'm still a pro at it. I keep learning. And they always say knowledge is power, and I highly believe in that.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, we keep learning all our life, yeah.
Yeah, you do. You learn all your lives. I was listening to the radio the other day. I never really knew what Bitcoin was all about till they explained it, and I said, now I've got it. But I didn't know. I heard about it, but I wasn't educated on it. Now I know where that came from, why they want to go forward with it, why they want to go forward with AI. And I always say, you know, there's good and bad in everything that comes out. AI is great for certain things in the medical field. Well, it's not good if you're going to imitate somebody with it. So they're trying to set guidelines with it, okay? But it's probably the wave of the future. And the only thing you can't stop is progress or time. Time marches on. Unfortunately. You know, I look back to even 10 years ago and I say, it's in the past. Look at how far we've come from 10 years to now. If you look at the medical field, it's unbelievable, okay? When I had to have a hip operation, and most people look at me and say, there's no way. The doctor I had was amazing, but the technology. 40 years ago, anybody had a hip operation, they probably couldn't walk for 6 months. I walked in a week. The way they did this hip, I hardly have a scar. He connected it to the back where the spine is working with it. I had a walker for a week, a cane for 1 week, and then I was in a short heel the third week, and I just walked. So the technology today, and that's where I think people, women and men, and all of us have to be focused on, okay? I always say, I believe in science, I believe in progress, okay? And if that's where tax dollars are going, why not? Because it's going to give us all a better life, a longer life to live.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, the longer life, yeah. It's like, for instance, my mom, she had the last stage of the colon cancer. And she got a surgery, and again, thanks the modern technologies, she's alive. Yeah. Like 4 years after it, she's doing fine now.
Exactly. Well, my husband had open heart surgery, okay, of 2016. Now, he's walking around. You'd never know it. He's over there. I see him having a conversation. You'd never know. But the technology. Now, today, open heart surgery from 2016, okay, to 2025 now, they don't cut the chest open anymore. I said, wait a minute. They said, no, it's all done invasive, okay? I said, you have to be kidding me. They said, no, we don't open the chest. We go through the arm. It's because they've got it on the screen and they're able to see what's wrong with the heart, okay? And they're trying to do this because they found that opening up a body or too much surgery is no good, okay? It takes too long to come back. I mean, I've seen people go, like with me, when I had my heart stents put in, I was only in 2 days. People getting heart stents done now, they're out in hours. I'm like, I mean, I thought I was walking around in 2 days. I said, well, look at the technology back then. I was driving a car in a week. Okay, it was like, whoa, this is unbelievable, okay? But today, they put them in, they go through the arm, the stents are in. Hours later, they're sitting up eating and walking and talking and driving a car. I'm like,
that's amazing, yeah. And you know what? I recently took a course training for AI applications, you know, because oh my God, I need to follow, you know, the new technologies. Yeah, you know, exactly. I don't want to be, you know,
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with that, people. You know, I've had people say, oh my God, I'm afraid of AI. I said, you're only afraid of it if you're not educated on it, okay? It's like when cell phones first came out, when computers came out. People were afraid to look at this thing. They made horror stories about computers walking and doing. I said, if you're not educated on it, you will not know. But once you have an idea of it, I said, everything has a danger point, okay? Driving a car is the biggest danger point.
It's always like two sides of the medal.
Exactly. And I said, but if you're a defensive driver and you watch what you do, you could have a clean driving record. I said, but if you want to get on the road and speed and cut people off, well, you're taking your life in your hands. I said, so everything, you just have to know, you have to be educated on it and know how to go forward with it. And you might live to be 200 years old. That's what I tell people.
Well, maybe in the future, yeah, we're going to live for 200 years, but not now.
And there's a lot of people living to be 100. You know, and I look at them, I go, my mother, like I said, at 94 years old, you'd look at her and go, that woman's 94? Yeah. Okay. At 93, she was still driving a car, could still exercise. I wish my neighbors would have filmed this. I was teasing my mother one day. I said, you'll never catch me around that pool. She said, oh, yeah? She said, I'll even give you a head start. I said, okay. She had this broom in her hand. I said, okay. So she said, go ahead. She gave me a head start. She caught me. And at the end, and she says, you think I still can't hit you with a broom like you were small? I said, you won't hit me with the broom. She did.
Oh.
She hit me on the backside with the broom. My neighbors were hysterical. I said, did anybody film this? I said, they get this on film. There's this little 93-year-old woman out there. But in her day, she was a professional bowler. She was interviewed on Wide World of Sports. Had it not been for World War II, she would have been in the Olympics. She could have been a decathlon champion. She was an excellent swimmer. She took a lot of hard knocks in her life, but I think it was those hard knocks that got her to where she was.
Yes, that's true.
Okay? Yeah. Made her very strong. I mean, at that age, even at 94, she could get on the floor, scrub a bathroom floor, clean a house. And I'm like, Mom, aren't you tired? Well, I'll take a nap later. That's how she was. She came from the old days. The thing was is that at her age, she just couldn't fathom the way the world was today. Yeah. You know, when they get to that age, they've been through it all. They think they know it all.
Yeah, and they lived very long lives.
Yeah, they lived long lives.
They've seen a lot.
Exactly. And the technology and everything was just not where they were. And, you know, unfortunately, they'd rather pass on to another life and not stay here. And at the end, she kind of gave up a little bit, but I think she's in a much better place. And if I know her, she's scrubbing a floor somewhere. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, we've got to get together because the things that you do, I mean, like the charities and the workshops, it's great. And as I say, you know, it's a girl could be from another pageant, but we're all the sisterhood of pageants.
Yeah, definitely. That would be great to have to cooperate or to collaborate on any projects. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. It'd be amazing.
I would be happy to help, to contribute, and my time and my knowledge and everything what I can, you know, because I know how it's not easy, you know, for other people to overcome some obstacles, you know, life obstacles. Like, for instance, me, I'm Ukrainian. So I had to leave my country, and because of the war, so I had to, let's say, run away. And I had to start my life from zero. Right. And of course, it's not something like, oh, I'm so strong. Okay, I do everything. Okay, yes, I will do everything, but I need support.
Yes.
And I understand that how for other people who go through the difficulties in life, they need that support.
And especially coming from Ukraine and all that's going on over there, and my heart always went out to 𝐒𝐿insky because he was just, his country's been destroyed, and it's a shame. And you know, I had the great opportunity. I don't know if you ever watched Dancing with the Stars, but 𝐿𝐴𝐚𝐤𝐞 has a dance studio in Boca. It's called Dance with Me, and he gave a couple of sessions, and I had the distinct pleasure of doing some classes with him. And he's from Ukraine, and he actually went there and almost didn't get back, but his family is there, and because of that, he's kind of you know, he's still doing some things, but he's backed off teaching a little bit. And like he said, it's very difficult because just seeing some of his family that he can't get out, some of his family that he lost. So I give you a lot of credit in coming from there and coming here and going into a pageant and doing wonderful, wonderful things. And you, above anybody, will understand the hardship of people, you know.
Yeah, I understand it pretty much.
Because, you know, your country is going through a war. Here in the States, all right, World War II was fought overseas. Yes, we had 9/11, but we never really had a war where all our buildings are getting destroyed. So a lot of people here don't understand. They know it, but they don't fully understand it. So I give you a lot of credit for all the things that you've done. And you're totally an asset, I think, to the world, and you are also an asset to the pageantry industry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me from you.
Yes, no, I'm so glad that you came here today. We had the opportunity to talk, and we're able to interview you. So, and I'm hope maybe after you crown your successor, you may want to come into Miss International World. It would be an honor and a pleasure to have you. But anytime you want to work with us, even with this title or whatever.
Yeah, I'll be happy anytime to work with you as well and collaborate and, as I said,
absolutely
invest my time and knowledge and help the world to become better.
Exactly. And you never know if there's a girl that, leaves my organization, wants to go into Miss Worldwide and work with you. So it's the sisterhood of pageantry. And you know what I say? It's the sisterhood of life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that you cannot, unseen. Because it's something that goes with you all your life. It's just part of you.
Right, exactly. Well, Tatiana, it was such a pleasure to have you here today and to have you on Make Our World Your Runway. And our studio is in Sunrise, so anytime you want to come on and be on the show again, if you have something you're doing and you want to do, you just let me know. And
thank you so much, Angela.
Yes.
I'm so happy to meet you tonight.
Yeah, so happy to meet you.
You.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we've had a fabulous guest here today at the Embassy Suites in Boca Raton. And as I tell you, always tune in to Make Our World Your Runway, because there's always a fabulous guest, and you never know who's going to walk on our show. So have a rest of a great weekend, and thank you so much for being here.